Hey guys, today we're going to see a few tips for acoustic playing. So if you're interested in improving your acoustic guitar playing, make sure to stick to this video till the end. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the Bearded Guitarist, and before we get started with today's lesson, I'm just going to ask you to like this video if you enjoy this type of content, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. So when we talk about tips for acoustic playing, by far the most important thing is working on dynamics. This is what will make your playing sound more professional, or in general just more interesting. When we talk about dynamics, we're talking about playing softer or louder. Okay, so a softer dynamic, which is also called piano, means that you play like this. And a louder dynamic, which is also called forte, sounds like. Now, it's very common that beginners would actually play all the time like this, you know, with a very high dynamic, everything is very loud, and there is no difference basically if you're playing a verse of a song or the chorus. Everything will be at its peak, okay? 10 out of 10, and it would be like... So when I play something like this, at the end of the day, this is quite annoying and boring, and this is because the volume of every stroke that I play is the same. It's very loud, and every time that I play a downstroke or an upstroke, I'm playing all of the strings. So let's see how we can actually make this more interesting. First of all, like we said, let's work on the volume. Let's make sure that we play something like... You see, when I'm playing something like this, I'm starting softer and then building up, okay, the dynamics, bringing it up to a more forte dynamic, which is very similar to what you do naturally when you talk. In the end, this will allow you to break down the chord a little, because you don't have to play all of the strings of each chord every time, okay? So if I take an F major, I don't have to play this all the time, or if you bar it, this all the time, okay? Sometimes I can just play a triad, or just a triad with the thumb on the bass and play like... Same when I go to C, or when I go to G, and then the A minor. So sometimes you can skip some of the strokes that you would have played, you know, with the forte dynamic, and maybe play only a few strings, okay? This will allow you to create what we call an arpeggio. So an arpeggio is when you play single notes within a chord. So imagine like playing a single string from time to time rather than strumming it all, okay? Like playing things like that. Okay, this is also a mix of chords and melody, because at the end of the day you create a melody with the single notes of the arpeggios that you are hitting. Now, as long as you keep your right hand moving, okay, as long as you don't stop this so that you don't go out of time, you shouldn't be following any pattern, especially if you are just starting this out right now, okay? So you should just keep it moving in the same way as you move it when you play a strumming, and then take some strokes out and play only a few strings sometimes, okay? When you do that, you obviously keep working on the volume, so playing softer and louder depending on how the song goes like. This will help you very much if you sing along, or if you're playing for a singer, okay, if you are playing with somebody who's singing while you play. And when you do that, you can also start playing around with some embellishments. And the number one embellishment that I was playing, and you probably already noticed that, were a few hammer-ons, okay? So each chord that you are spelling, breaking down differently now. You can also move around some of the notes in here. So if you look at shapes like F or C, you can take the second finger, the middle finger, and just, you know, play that note a little bit later, okay? Create a sort of delay for that note. That embellishment is, at the end of the day, a grace note, okay? We're not really doing, we're doing this. So it's not really important which note exactly you use, but it's more important how quick you play it, how quick you hammer it on. Okay, you can play even a few of them in a row if you feel like. And when you put all this together, so working on the volume, working on the arpeggios, creating a melody, and adding these embellishments, this sounds like this. So as you can see, guys, this is not very difficult. It just requires some practice, but often this is what really separates the same chord progression played by a beginner and by a pro. Now, I just want to quickly mention that you can do exactly the same thing finger picking, whether you only play finger picking or whether you know how to play both with a pick and finger picking, you can create exactly the same dynamics. So if you strum finger picking, you can do again, working on the volumes and working on the arpeggios, as long as you again don't stop the right hand. Maybe you can add some percussions as well if that's something that you like to make it even more groovy, both when you play with a pick or when you play finger picking. You can also try, with pick and fingers. If you know already how to play the hybrid picking where you use pick and fingers at the same time. Creates a nice variety. And once more, when you get started, don't overthink about patterns, don't overthink about which strings you are exactly playing, don't focus too much on playing exactly the same strings every time. Then obviously, if you are more advanced and you want to break this down even more, you can start taking a note and maybe write down which strings you like to play and create your own patterns that then you repeat over different songs and different arrangements. Alright guys, that's all for this lesson. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and if it's your first time on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, and if you want to support this channel even more, think about becoming a patron. The link is in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. This was The Bearded Guitarist. Have a wonderful day.